because when you're out there, you're not moving one body part when you're doing some move on the field. You've got to be able to react. You've got to be able to move sideways. You want to be able to recruit the right big movers with your stabilizers in order to perform.
You want to build that foundation. You want to build that strength. But while in the process, you're also building speed and agility and power and also, with all that lateral and vertical movement, you're tapping into parts of your legs and your butt that you haven't seen before.
Now, how can you improve on aggro?
Well, there's fight for scissors with an added reach. If you were my workout the other day, you saw that. I mixed an interesting combination of some things that folks have seen in the Yoga Belly 7 for P90X, and we've added a lot of stuff where you're up, like with Mason Twist, for example, we're up a lot, up on our butt, because you're forced to use your core that way. So it's a brand new mix. It's a brand new P90X-2, and it'll be just as brutal as the first one.
Now, you talk about core, balance and power. X2 is coming up. X2 Yoga.
Your friend Crane there. What I did we had a lot of conversations about this, but when it came to the P90X-2 Yoga, we wanted to get back to basics a little bit. We wanted just a constant flow. You know what I mean? So we took out some of the standing balance moves. We got busy right away. The warm-up was a little bit shorter. And we wanted to condense the very best of the best of moves that I think are most effective in yoga in the course of about an hour and 5 minutes.
Got it.
As opposed to an hour and a half.
Yeah, so last time it was done in sort of 2 halves. You had the whole vinyasa phase in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we were standing on our heads and our fingers were up our noses.
Yeah, which is really cool. Well, it's crazy. Last night, I was walking through the hallway. I had my own workout, and yesterday was yoga day for me. I'm doing yoga in, Crown Room 3, and all of a sudden 35 people showed up. So, it's kind of
All right, now we're talking balance and power, which is your core routine. That is my favorite move in this whole thing.
That move is crazy. Well, balance and power is exactly what it is. You're adding balance components with strength components at the same time. Usually you'll see them separately. There's a little chaturanga.
Look at that. Outrageous.
Yeah, that doesn't require anything whatsoever. So, it doesn't look like much, for example, that one where you're on your forearms, but oh my God, you get to your 10th one. And oddly enough, the beautiful thing is you can feel your core working without having to get on your back and work your core specifically, right? So as a result of that, a lot of those moves you just saw, your quads are engaged, your glutes are engaged, your pelvis is tilted, your core is firing without having to actually do crunches, which are important as well. We see those in P90X. But, we're just trying to help people become more athletic, become stronger, and in the process, become gorgeous as well.
Well, my experience personally with this versus other kind of ab moves, this one, I have a tendency to get really tight in my lower back, right? So these kind of moves, a lot of plank moves, man, just fixes my lower back pain. Like it's just fixed.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. All this extra core work. Anybody who, if you sit a lot, you work a lot, the lower back tightens up, and I think you're going to feel some relief by strengthening it this way versus just doing the old.
Well, it's amazing how much we've learned in 7 years when it comes to just doing a standard push-up. Like the other day when we were in my workout, you never heard me cue things like flex your quads, drive the backs, your backs of your knees toward the ceiling, and turn your heels back and tilt your pelvis towards your elbows. We cued it as best we could based on what we knew at that time, but we've learned so much in the interim that, when you see folks now do in P90X-2, you see them do a push-up, they're like this steel rod from head to heels, and that's the idea. And it requires, some new philosophy to be able to do that. And when you do, like yourself, you prevent that injury. Because so many people have that lower back slack when they're doing their push-ups because they're focused just too much on numbers. Now we're focusing more on form. And when you do that first, your numbers will go up, but you'll also not get hurt, and you're engaging everything.
No, I saw that. Everybody was so strong in the room, I actually ran across everybody. Okay. Chest, back, and ball ends.
Yeah, we thought we had chest, back, and balls for the one-on-ones, but we thought for the masses we should probably clean it up. So it's called balance. Yeah, there are levers, there's push-ups on your fingertips, there's 4-ball push-ups, and trust me, when I first started doing that move in particular, it took me like 8 or 9 times to get 2 or 3 reps. And that really pissed me off.
Well, that's what's cool. That's what, you get P90X-2, people go, oh boy, $120 or whatever, and they for a set of DVDs. This isn't a thing that it's like one and done. You're going to do this for years. And kind of like all the programs, you go back to them. Even still with Power 90, you go back to it, you're lifting a different weight, you get just a completely different experience out of it. This is so rich. This is 2 years of richness that people are going to experience as they do this over and again, back and forth with P90X, P90X-2, work in Insanity, work in TurboFire, work in Asylum. It's like, you got the coolest gym on the planet right downstairs.
Absolutely. If you look at our winners last night, vast majority were combo. You know, you would see the combination of different programs that they would use. And that's the beautiful thing. You can customize your own workout routines. You know, we are learning, everybody here in this room and people outside of this room who are, you know, P90X and Beachbody customers are much more sophisticated than they were back in the old days. Back in the old days, it was either do nothing because it was too intimidating, or go to the gym and just do the same old thing that stopped working. And now, because of this incredible library that we have, all of us are just learning more. You know, everybody's becoming their own trainer because as a result of this huge library we have.
It's cool. All right, shoulders and arms.
Well, you know, shoulders are the link to everything upper body, right? So it's really important. We got some, we went wacko here. So of course, as you can see, we can't get away from these crazy balls, you know. Because there's so much fun stuff here. We've got 2-direction shoulder flies. And the thing is, we're doing a form of rehab and also strength. We're shaping the muscle, we're building the muscle, we're also rehabbing the muscle all at the same time. Because quite often, you know, our egos get in the way and we care too much about, you know, building the size and the shape, and we ignore the fact that the shoulders are very vulnerable for a lot of folks. So we've added some components to make sure that the shoulder joint, the rotator cuff, is strong and stable too.
Dig it. And of course, base and back, which was also part of what the one-on-one development series, right?
Yeah. You know, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought it'd be a really cool idea to add plyo and pull-ups all in one workout. So have fun with that one. Honestly, you know, we'll talk about the cardio issue earlier, you know, but that's a perfect example of a non-cardio exercise sequence.
We'll go there. Let's talk about it. You're going to get this, and there's no X2 cardio.
Nope.
There's no
martial arts, no chemical.
Right. So why not? Why did you create just half a program? What were you thinking?
Well, I figure our library is pretty stacked with cardio. I mean, obviously, Debbie and Shalene and Sean T. and all the other trainers have such great cardio programs, but it wasn't because they have it, you know.
I
mean, hello. The greatest. Right. Working out on the beach at 109 degrees with little pebbles of sand like poking through my toes. But still awesome, so go out and get it. But the reason why we put it in there is because you know, you look at the average, the football field is only so long, right? So you're either running laterally across it or to the end, basketball court, soccer field. You know, most athletes, the way they move is not for, you know, 30 minutes straight with our heart and lungs and legs all working together. But really, what we try to do is create sequences that were fast and furious, much like the P90X, that work the entire body as opposed to just pure cardio. There are hundreds of people out in this audience who maybe 5 or 6 years ago said, well, you know, I need cardio to really change my body. But we as Beachbody have taught them that it's a combination of resistance and fat and interval exercises. Basically what these are very high heart rate interval routines where the heart rate's going up and coming down and going up and coming down. That way your body's allowed to kind of push the envelope more. Sometimes when it's just pure cardio, you stay in this one little line where you're not really challenging the entire body as much as you could. And the more you challenge your body, the more muscles and joints and tendons that are getting worked, the faster the results and the better you're going to look in the end.
Got it. Well, look, you know, we've alluded to it a little bit. Let's get into the genesis of how PAP got into the program. And, you know, we talk a lot about, and one of the things, frankly, I'm most proud of with the P90X program is one of the things that Tony said in a very early meeting, and the videos that you've seen online of sort of the behind-the-scenes development of the program are all the real deal. I mean, when you first recommended that we have 12 routines, I was like, no way, that's too much. Nobody's going to master it. Like, the thing I love about Power 90 is once I master it, then it's just about how intense